Hi, welcome to the Workbench Apprentice. Today we're going to build a drawer for the workbench. This one will be to hold the router. So again, we'll customize it to fit all the accessories like the bits and the spanners and things that you have with the router. But first of all, we need to start by preparing some wood for the base of the box. So here we've got some pallet wood that I'm just going to clean up. Start with sanding and then using the straight edge jig that I made previously. We'll put a straight edge on one side of these planks and then once that's done, then we can run it through the table saw to get square edges. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. Right, got it all set up for the panel glue up. So we'll just crack on and get this thing done. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to cut the bottom of this drawer to rough size. So this is the panel that I drew up, that I made. So I want to just, there we go. There's a nice clean edge there. So I want to just mark where I want to cut, which is going to be there, and it's going to be about there. So we'll cut those on the crosscut sled, I think. There's my mark right there. Right, so we've got our panel to rough size. Now I just want to make sure that we get it the same size as, or the same depth as our drawer. So with a pencil, just mark underneath. There's our line. We can trim that off on the table saw as well. Right, so let's see, how did we do? Okay, let's flush at the back. Yeah, pretty happy with that. just needs to be, we just need to work out how long we need this piece to be. And these are the drawer slides, so how long do they need to be? So if I mark where they come, which is, I don't know, oh, yep. So I'm just checking to see whereabouts they end up. So if that is bang on there, just bring it in just a wee tad. I'd say it's going to need to be cut off that sort of length, and then we'll have the base of our drawer cut to final size. Okay, let's just check it for fit, because I've chopped that off. So these slides mount on the side and underneath. I think that needs just a wee fraction off it, like half a saw blade width. Okay, so test fitting this, made the cut of course, so that seems to fit in quite nicely at that point. So now I need to work out how much height I've got. So I've got these rulers, so I'm just going to slide those under there to act as a spacer. Then I can measure the distance between there and there, which is 175 mil, but we want to come down a bit, so let's make it 170 millimeters. And that's how tall we want the sides of our drawer to be. So 170 is going to be there. Yes. This one. The bit we don't want is this bit here. So we'll set that up on the table saw, and I'll cut 2 of these panels down to that width. Okay, so I've got my two panels here cut down to the right width, but in order to get the measurements, I need to start with a straight edge. So I'm just going to mark these as I can, and we'll square those off the cross-cut sled on the table saw. Okay, so here we go, we've got our straight edge, and just want to make sure that's flush there, which it is, and mark it there, and that's one side. Same for this side. Make sure it's flush and mark it. That side. So there we go, we've got our mark here. Just need to chop those off again on the saw. Okay, so that's our two sides. Now we need the piece to go across the back. So I'm just going to put these two together. Make sure they're flush at this end. Like so. And then with this piece, if I just gently bump that edge to there and mark down here. And that's how wide our front and back need to be. Okay, so I'm going to set up a stop block. So there's the mark for the length. Now I want it to be on this side of the blade. So that's going to be there, exactly there. And then I'm just going to set up this piece of wood here as a stop block. So just butt that up to that piece of wood, and of course the clamp that down tightly because we definitely don't want it to move. Check my measurement, and that seems all good to go. So we'll make the cut, and then we can just use that setup to make the next cut, and that way we end up with two pieces the same length. Right, so we have our four sides cut, so let's just put them into place. Well, size wise I think that is pretty good. Okay, so let's start assembling this box. So once again I've got my square adjusted to be half, so be there, I want it to go about there somewhere, and down the bottom, and then we'll drill our holes. Just somewhere on that line. Right. one piece there, I've got one piece there. I want to make sure that those are square. I'm just going to use this clamp to just put a little bit of pressure on it. But not so much that it puts it out of square like that. How about we try that? And that just holds it in place. That looks pretty good. Make sure it's flush, which it is. Here we go. That's that one. Don't need that anymore. Turn it upside down. Or maybe I do need that. Just check, of course, that it is still square or squarish, thereabouts. That's pretty good. Pilot hole. Oh, broken drill bit. Lovely. Okay, let's fix the broken drill bit. Okay, so I need to get the drill bit out. So I need to take this off. There's our drill bit. There we go. Right, so I've assembled the frame of the box, the drawer. Just want to put the bottom on it now, so let's see how we can do with that. Right, make sure it's flush, which it is, and I'm just going to mark with this. Just want to allow for the depth of these screws, so we'll go somewhere around there. What do you reckon? One in the middle. And let's drill those. Right, now that we've got this edge fixed, we can get the other edge so that it is square. And that looks pretty good there. So that's locked that box into its final shape. So just do ones down here on both sides, and then we'll flip it over. Right, well, with the drawer now screwed together, let's see if it's going to fit. So there's plenty of room there to so yeah, we need to have a bit of a gap, which gives it a bit of a gap at the top, and yeah, I'm happy with that. Right, let's put the runners on. Right, so here's the runners that we've got. So on the engraving on the inside, we've got CR, and on this one we've got DR. So C, I assume, is case, so that goes on the case, and this one goes on the drawer. So we want those to be, I don't know, about there somewhere, I guess. So I shall screw that down. Right, and same with the other side. Okay, so I've taken the bottom drawer out because I want to try and work out how tall I can have or how high I can have this drawer. Now if I put some spacer blocks in there, that's right. So if I can put that in here. Go up just a bit more like that. If I mark so I've marked the top of the casement bracket. Show you what that's going to look like. So that's where the top of that will be. So all I need to do now is mount that same height on both sides. Okay, so I've got my position marked. I need to put that in there, so, and then screw that in. So let's just stick a wee hole in there. To get that started. Really. I'm going to go get a proper screwdriver. So I need to get a level, which this is. And we'll put that. Oh. No, it's not going to work. Okay. say about there somewhere. Yeah. That's it there. There we go. And a screw. Pretty good. Right. Okay, put some more screws in. Okay, so I've got my mark on the side here, and I'm going to measure from the top of here because I'm not trusting that this is accurate. Square, rather. So what have we got? We have, comes down to 174. So 174 from the top of that is going to be right there. So so that should be right there. And if we make that one level, I can't quite see. I'm going to have to go in front of the camera. that should allow our drawer to slide in. So let's see if it will. No, I got it wrong. So we need to come down, I don't know, 5 mil or less. So, that's what I'm doing now. Okay, so I've made the adjustments. Now let's see if it'll fit in. Going in. Nice. Right, so the next problem I need to sort out, because this piece here is not flat, and we have an issue at the back. Very difficult to see on camera, but what's actually happening is that the leading wheel on the drawer base has come away from the runner that is screwed to the cabinet. So yeah, it's going to need some packing out. So I'm going to have to do that with either some wood or some washers or both. So that will be my next job. Right, so I think this little block is just a little bit too thick. So I'm just going to use my sander to just take off like a couple of mil. And then we'll try it again to see how it fits. Oh, that seems to have fixed the issue. So I can go along and put more screws in there to support it, the channel a bit more. So then we can move on to planning the inside of this to fit the router and its accessories. Okay, so I've just gone to try and put the second drawer, the lower drawer in, and when you know it, because we had to lower the top drawer, the bottom drawer now won't fit in. So I'm going to have to plane down the top of this drawer in order to get it to fit. So that's my next job. Right, so I've marked my depth gauge. I want to make it about 5 mil less. So I'll just do that all the way around the box. We'll plane it down to that. Right, so here we go. I will start the planing. So here we go. Got the drawer back in, and it now closes, which is fantastic. Okay, so yes, not very straight, but once we have the faceplates on and handles, they'll be, you wouldn't know. Right, so next job then is to fit this drawer out with all the router bits and pieces. Now for the most exciting part is working out where to put things. Now I think I can put that over here. Actually, I might stand up. Keep in mind that I don't really want it to rest on that cable for too long. So if we can set it up about there somewhere. And that's not resting on the cable there. Okay, how are we going to get that out through there? Yeah, okay. Or we can lift it that way. Alright, so I think what I need to do is make a stand that will have the router located here. Probably do that by making something for these handles to sit in and give it a bit of support at the top here. So I won't know how big to make that until I've sorted this one out. So first things first, let's find out what size that is and make a piece to fit. Okay, let's just measure these. So let's say 32. Yep, that's the same. So need to check my hole saw, see if I've got something that's close to 32mm, and we'll make a bracket. I have found a piece of scrap wood and I found a hole saw that's close enough to the size I need, so let's just and we'll flip it over and hopefully okay, so I thought I might try putting it on a base that I can replace, because you never know, I might end up one day getting a much better router, which actually wouldn't be that difficult to do. Okay, so that's a bit, so that is a bit, okay, the fit is good, but the height is not, and I have plenty of room, so that's great. That means I can fit it onto this base and not have to worry about it all fitting together. Right, so how short are we? Quite a bit. Okay. Let's see. There, so that is, wow, 32 mil. Okay, so if I can find something that's about 32 mil thick, then we can put those on there. So I'll have a look through my scrap collection and see what I've got. Okay, so I've got a couple of pieces that are just the right height. Plonk those on there. And that'll be good. So if we mark down here, that's how long it needs to be. So we'll cut that to length. Then we can mount those on and then join these together and put them on our base and then put them in the drawer. Right, so cut those pieces. Now I'm just sort of lining it up, so I think that's going to be about there somewhere. Carefully take that away. Draw that line down there and that line there. Then I can take those away. Can put some glue down here. Like so. Spray the bottom of that. Oh, and there it goes. Spray this one. There that goes. Now just check. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Okay. So what I need to do now is just, I think, put some screws in there. Just to, you know, don't want to rely on the glue, so the glue will hold it while I put the screws in. Okay, right. Here's our other piece. Okay, well that's our two bits joined together. Now to locate it, needs to be pretty much right there. Right. Here we go. So once that's in place, the base holds it up against the in the right place. So that is pretty cool. Okay, but I don't need all this here, so I can chop that off. Yeah, let's give ourselves a bit of space there. That's going to be about there somewhere. Okay, I will cut that down on the saw. Right, so I've got our base in here and it just fits perfectly in there, so I want to screw this in from the bottom. There we go, that's in place, that's not moving anywhere. And that router stays there. The cable is above and that is not going. Yep, that's not going anywhere. That is brilliant. Right. So that is done. Okay, next thing I want to do is sort out the accessories that you get with the router nowadays. First of all, I've got the spanners and I've got this cup hook, which is all I'm going to need. So I want to put those on there and see how high I need to get. That would do, wouldn't it? Right there. Actually, that trill's probably a bit big. Here we go. that sits nicely there. And that sits there. That's the spanner I use to adjust the collet. And it's not going to go anywhere. Excellent. Right, what's next? Okay, so I managed to find a container for the loose router bits, so they're all in there now. And we've just got these two bits here, which can probably just float around in there. I think this drawer is now done. So let's put it in and see what it looks like. So there we go, there's the drawer, there's my router bits. My spanners are here. That sits in there very nicely. And it's a bit stiff to get out, which is great, because that means when I'm working on the bench it's not going to rattle open. I'm really happy with the way the router's sitting in there. The cable's not under any load. So that one, I think, is now done. So there we go. Job done. Nice tidy drawer to for the router. If you watched this far, thanks very much for watching. Do like and subscribe. Very much appreciate that. And ring the notification bell if you want to keep up to date with my progress. So, yeah, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Workbench Apprentice.